Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some really fun battles in the Ultra League featuring the triple close combat theme team. This team features Como-O on the lead, Berserker as the safe switch, and Granbull as the closer, with all three Pokemon running close combat. And honestly, I had a ton of success with the team, even despite going up against some incredibly talented battlers. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the triple close combat team in action in the Ultra League. Hopping into the first match, sending Como-O into Nidoqueen. Pretty neutral lead across the board, but I'm very happy to catch the Nidoqueen here. That should hopefully free up my Granbull to close in the endgame. They do farm up to the Earth Power. I do tank it, so I let it through. It is the Earth Power, but that will do quite a bit of damage. One Dragon Claw does not KO here, but I should be able to get it to a range where a second move will. So I farm up and go for the close combat on what I'm hoping is a CMP tied to a Poison Fang. Close combat gets the shield, they hold onto their energy, and they're able to farm down. In comes Berserker, and this could be another Earth Power. I will shield at the last second. It is an Earth Power, and then they're going to safe switch into Walrein. I'm going to overfarm quite a bit and go for the close combat as they reach the Earthquake. This will do massive damage if it lands, which it does, and they're firing back with a move. I'm going to let this go. They only go for the Icicle Spear. I'm able to tank it and able to reach the foul play, and this will KO if they don't shield. They let it through. In the back, they have Scrafty, and Granbull is absolutely eating good tonight. These charms absolutely destroying Scrafty. We tank the foul play and we farm down. So far, Como-O has thrown a close combat, Berserker has thrown a close combat, and now Granbull taking down Nidoqueen with a close combat, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, sending Como-O into Machamp, the Battle of the Fighters. This is the neutral matchup for Machamp on my team, so I can't really switch out here. I'm just going to stay in and tank the cross chop as we do survive this. And then you know what? I think I'm actually going to full send the close combat here. They may not be expecting it. Como-O charging up, taking down Machamp. In comes Walrein, and I'm going to save switch into Berserker. Berserker does have a pretty okay matchup here, but it is very bait dependent on the part of the Walrein. We go for the close combat. They do commit the shield, and it's a CMP tie. I'm going to respect the potential Earthquake, and it is the Earthquake. That's a massive shield. Berserker farming up, and in the back, they have a Poison Jab Alolan Muck, and my Berserker is absolutely loaded on energy. We go for a second close combat, and we're able to reach a third. Berserker putting in so much work. Close combat, getting the Alolan Muck very low. From here, I think I can shield and farm down. Even though my defense is 4 stages debuffed, I should be able to farm down and leave with quite a bit of energy. Since I'm debuffed, I'm going to be switching out here and bringing in the Granbull. These charms are really going to add up, and the Walrein is going to have to throw 2 Icicle Spears to take me out here. They go for the first. We tank that, no problem. We are farming up, and they throw just before I'm able to reach a move. Very nice counting by my opponent. They go for the Icicle Spear. I'm going to bring in Como-O to force them to throw their energy, and from here, I think it's going to come down to if I can get to the back-to-back foul plays. Come on, Berserker. Get there. They reach a move. This should only be an Icicle Spear, and since they're non-shadow, we should be able to tank it. We Shadow Claw down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Como-O into Dragalge. This is a very cool matchup, both of us hitting each other for super effective damage. I'm going to farm up and go for the Dragon Claw as they reach a potential Aqua Tail. Dragon Claw is going to get the shield. They're going to keep farming up to the Outrage. I switch and I catch onto Berserker. I'm hoping that I've caught the Outrage, but they baited with an Aqua Tail, and then they're going to bring in Scrafty. But we have shield advantage, which is very nice, and now I can either do massive damage to the Scrafty or get the final shield. Close combat, able to get the final shield. This Scrafty has a ton of energy, but it's not going to be particularly useful going up against Granbull, as Granbull is going to absolutely charm Scrafty down. They're going to be able to reach a second foul play. I have 2 shields. I kind of have to start shielding something, so I will commit the shield and farm down. We know they have the low health Dragalge, and their final Pokemon is revealed to be Registeel. I'm going to go for the close combat here. This is going to do big damage onto Registeel, and then I bring in Como-O, they bring in Dragalge, and I'm forced to throw a Dragon Claw. The question is, am I going to be able to reach the close combat versus Registeel? Registeel going for the farm down. Como-O not going to be able to get there, and I'm forced to go for the Dragon Claw. This is not good. This Registeel has a ton of energy. I think at this point, my only win con is to try and call a Focus Blast bait. I no shield, it's a Focus Blast, and we survive. Grand Bull, it's a race. Can we charm down Registeel? Yes, we can! And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Como-O into Obstagoon. This is a pretty nice lead. Opponent is going to save switch into a Shadow Walrein, and I'm going to respond with Berserker. I am able to outpace the Walrein, and I'm going to reach the close combat. Close combat would do massive damage, so they do commit the shield, and they overfarm quite a bit. I'm feeling brave. I'm calling the Icicle Spear, and it's the Icicle Spear, an absolutely massive no shield. From here, I do want to try and keep switch advantage if at all possible, because if I can align that Obstagoon onto my Grand Bull, I should be in a pretty good spot. So I am going to commit the final shield, and then try and farm up to the back-to-back close combats. Berserker able to get there, and now if my opponent shields, that shield is going to be wasted because we do have the back-to-back. Berserker going to be able to take down the Shadow Walrein and keep switch advantage. I'm expecting my opponent to bring back in the Goon, but they bring in Tapu Fini and I panic switch and I make a terrible mistake. I was expecting them to bring in Goon. I panic switch into my Como-O, and now I'm in quite a bit of trouble here. At the very least, they're going to have to Moonblast to take me out here, but a definite mistake on my part. I'm going to wait the switch clock. I should still be okay here, because I think that Grand Bull can farm down before they reach a Moonblast, and from there, I should just be able to close combat the Obstagoon. They are going to fire off a move. Believe this is only going to be a Surf. It is. In comes Obstagoon. Grand Bull able to reach the close combat, and this is going to be taking care of the Obstagoon. We charm down the Fini, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Como-O into Surfetched. This is a pretty nice lead for Como-O, so long as my opponent is not running Brave Bird. I'm going to farm up and go for the Dragon Claw. I'm hoping to try and grab a shield from Surfetched, and I am able to do so. Surfetched is going to fire back with a move. I'm going to call no Brave Bird, and it's a Leaf Blade, so that ends up being a very nice call. My opponent is going to fire off a second Leaf Blade. I do want to try and win switch if at all possible, so I am going to commit the shield, and then I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here, and this will easily KO the Surfetched, and they let it go. They're going to bring in Shadow Swampert. I'm farming up. Como-O able to get to the last second Dragon Claw, and this is going to do some nice chip damage onto that Shadow Swampert. Able to get it quite low. I bring in Grand Bull. In the back, they have Registeel, and this is not looking good for me, because unfortunately in the one shield, Berserker doesn't do particularly well here. And they bait me with a Zap Cannon as well. So now they've debuffed my attack. So this is not looking good. I'm going to be firing off the close combat. We're able to land it. But from here, they can very safely shield this next one, and then Reggie's in a very good position to close out the match. Reggie is going to overfarm quite a bit, and this will be the Focus Blast, which is going to be taking care of Berserker. I'm going to bring in the Grand Bull. Grand Bull is still very healthy, but the bad news for me is that they're going to be able to throw here, stall the switch clock, and Shadow Swampert does have a move loaded. They go for the Zap Cannon. In comes the Shadow Swampert, and that is going to be game over. Things look promising for a bit, but we lose a very close match. Hopping into the next match, leading Como-O into another Surfetched. We've seen how this plays out, and it's a pretty decent lead for Como-O, so I'm more than happy to stay in here. Going for the Dragon Claw, but a very nice catch by my opponent, catching the Dragon Claw onto their Alolan Ninetales. I'm going to respond with Berserker. Berserker doesn't have a super comfortable matchup here, just because the charms really do start to add up, and I'm only able to hit for neutral in this matchup. Weather Ball lands, I'm going to farm up quite a bit, and then I'm going to go for the close combat. This is not enough to KO, but it is going to be getting that Ninetales quite low. Looking to try and go for a farm down. Looks like I'm not going to be able to get the farm down, so I'm forced to throw a Foul Play. Foul Play goes unshielded, I'm able to keep switch, and Surfetched farms down. I bring in Grand Bull, that charm does big damage. In the back, they have Galvantula. Switch clock comes up, and I'm able to catch on to Como-O, and this game is now over, because 2-shield Grand Bull is just going to be able to sweep here. they're forced to throw energy onto my Como-O, and since I saved 2 shields for Granbull, I can just charm everything down. Granbull takes down Galvantula, back in comes Surfetch'd, and we get a charm through as they bring in the Surfetch'd. Granbull taking out the Surfetch'd, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, setting Como-O into Venusaur, a pretty nice lead. And even better, the Venusaur is staying in, which means they could very well be weak to Como-O somewhere in the back as well. Opponent throws on alignment, and I'm able to get a free Dragon Tail through. They go for the Sludge Bomb. I'm going to farm up to the back-to-back Dragon Claws. 2 Dragon Claws is going to be enough to KO here. I go for the first, and I decide to go for the second right away. I probably could have farmed up a little bit more, but decided to go on the safe side. They bring in Walrein, I save switch into Berserker, and I am met with Swampert, and suddenly, things are not looking nearly as good as they once were. I'm gonna fire off the close combat, hoping for the no shield, but my opponent respects it with a shield, and that's not great, because they have back-to-back here, so I honestly can't shield. Hydro Cannon is gonna take me out. I can bring back in Como-O, but I just don't have energy here. I do have 2 shields. I'm going to try saving the shields for Granbull. Maybe I can charm down before Swampert is able to get to 2 moves, but it's looking like they're probably going to be able to get there, and if they can, this is game over, and they do. I'm going to be forced to commit my final shield here, and then Walrein is going to be able to get to 2 moves. I'm going to go for the crunch. Maybe I can get a defense drop, but even then, it's not looking like it's going to be able to save me. We get the shield. We do get the defense drop, but we're just going to get outpaced in this matchup. Walrein lands the Icicle Spear, and I concede the match. Hopping into the next match, setting Como-O into Toxicroak. Pretty neutral lead, so again, I'm pretty happy to stay in here and try and play it out. I'm going to overfarm by 1 and then go for the Dragon Claw. They know that they don't have to shield this. They can survive it, so they are going to let it through. Toxicroak does have quite a bit of energy here. I'm going to call it. They go for the Mud Bomb bait, and I am going to be able to farm down before they reach a second. We leave with a close combat loaded, which is very nice. They decide to bring in a Greedent, and I go straight for the close combat. Really hoping for the no shield. Close combat, able to connect. I save switch Berserker, they have Scrafty in the back, and this game appears to already be over, as we're in a very comfortable spot where I just saved 2 shields for my Charmer, and Charm does what Charm does, absolutely destroying the Scrafty and the Greedent in the process. Close combat gets the shield, and we're able to get to a second. Surely they don't give us a second shield as well. They do, even better. They protected their Scrafty, but you can't shield Charm. Hopping into the final match, setting Como-O into Walrein. This is not a great matchup, so I'm going to immediately save switch into Berserker, and my opponent responds with Trevenant. This is not a good matchup for Trevenant whatsoever, so my guess is that they saw the Steel typing, assumed it was a Registeel, but instead are now trapped in a bad matchup, and even worse for them, they overfarm and they end up losing CMP, so they're forced to burn both shields, so 2 big mistakes from my opponent to start out the match. I'm going to wait the switch clock and then bring in Como-O to try and commit to the farm down. Hopefully, I should be able to leave with a close combat, which is going to be able to do massive damage onto that Walrein. We do take a Shadow Ball here, so I'm going to let that through. Como-O able to farm down, and we do leave with the close combat loaded. I'm hoping they bring back in the Walrein. They do. I go for the close combat, but they catch onto Talonflame. Absolutely incredible catch by my opponent. I'm going to bring in Granbull, and now I think my win con is to try and commit to the 2 shield farm down. That Walrein has 0 energy, so my hope is that I can leave with enough energy to reach 2 charge moves, because 1 close combat is not enough to KO Walrein, as it is exceedingly tanky. Flame Charge is shielded. I'm able to farm down, and this is going to be very close. Back in comes the Walrein. They get 2 Powder Snows. Can I reach a move within 2 charms? Come on, Granbull. Granbull able to win the CMP tie, and therefore win the game. Granbull taking down the Walrein, and that is a good game. All in all, this team ended up being a ton of fun to run. The wonderful thing about having 3 close combat users is they can't shield all of your close combat, so eventually you're going to be able to land some, and they just do an absolutely massive amount of damage. This team was partially inspired by the triple Brave Bird team that a viewer submitted some weeks back, and I had a ton of fun with it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.